Today on Yes Your Kitchen, we are going to the Depression, and we are going to celebrate a family's recipe. You're going to love it. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Jill and this is Yes Your Kitchen. We are serving up retro classics with a side of food history. And today we are going to the Depression. I haven't done Depression cooking yet, and I think it's time. I actually want to say hi to Christine H. Hi, I know you're out there. Christine sent me her grandmother's recipe for a dish that she made in the Depression, and it's really easy, it's really economical, and it's really good. So Christine reached out to me on my Facebook group and let me know that to this day she makes her grandmother's dish called Poor Man's Meal that she used to make in the Depression. So her grandma was Gladys Bacoli, and there she is. Isn't she gorgeous? And this picture is with her and actually with Christine's dad when he was a little boy. So like, people that share their treasures with me I'm so grateful. It's so wonderful to be able to peek into someone else's life. So Gladys made this dish in the Depression. She called it Poor Man's Meal, and actually I'm gonna get it started and then I'll tell you a little bit more. So we have a very large pan that's on heat, and I've got exactly 1 pound of ground beef, and we're just gonna let that cook. So of course, Depression cooking, the Depression was from 1929 to 1939, and it was horrible. I mean, people were out of work, out of money, groceries were very, very limited, and people had to make do with what they had. It was very different than actually the World War II war ration, where people actually had money but couldn't buy the ingredients. Here they didn't have the money at all and had to just make do with, like I said, with what they had. So this is what Gladys made for her family. So Poor Man's Meals, it was kind of a catch-all term during the Depression. And it really was it was very family specific, and it was about what they could afford and according to the family's taste. This dish is fabulous. It is kind of a take on a beefaroni, as Christine told me, and she's right. It's really fabulous. It's really easy. A lot of other popular ingredients during the Depression that people used to make their Poor Man's Meal were potatoes, onions, hot dogs were huge, canned vegetables were huge, canned soup, as you can see, we've got 4 of them, were huge. And you know, people just made up dishes and just whatever they can make that was really hearty to feed their family. But we got through, and this is one of the things that helped us. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish browning this meat, and then I'm gonna drain off all the fat, and then we'll continue. Okay, so our meat is browned. Take a look, and all the fat is drained off. I'm gonna turn the heat down a little bit. Now what you need is 4 cans of tomato soup. You're not gonna add water to them. You're just gonna pour them right out of the can. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the only other seasoning, because spices were expensive, is pepper. Add as much or as little as you like. I like pepper, and actually I think it'll give it a nice kick. So I have about a tablespoon of pepper, and feel free to add more. And now we're just gonna stir this around. And yes, you are right. There's a lot more sauce than meat, but that's because we're going to add pasta to this, which is a wonderful filler. Also, rice was a wonderful filler back in the Depression. So we're going to let this warm up. In the meantime, I have 1 box, a 16-ounce box of elbow macaroni that I've already cooked in my cute little pot, drained and ready to go. So we're going to let this warm up, and then we're going to finish this off. Okay, our mixture is warmed. Now all we're going to do is take this glorious pasta that I've already cooked. There it is, all ready to go. And I'm just gonna slowly start adding it to the pot. I am not gonna make the same mistake as I did back on Johnny Marzetti. Do you remember Johnny Marzetti? If not, we learn as we go, don't we, sometimes? So I'm just gonna start spooning all this macaroni in. So the women, the moms of the Depression were so resourceful. I mean, they just were so imaginative. They were faced with adversity, and they fed their family. And they fed their family some good stuff. Now, as you can see, these recipes just live on. Okay, so we're gonna get every last piece of pasta in there, and then we're just gonna mix it in. So, I'm so honored when people want to share and entrust their family recipes with me. Do you have a recipe that's been handed down in your family with a story behind it? I would love to hear it. Just first of all, education is just so wonderful, and this is how I learned food history. This is another way of food history, and this is your food history, which is just kind of the best. So if you happen to have a recipe, I would love you to share it with me along with the story. You can find me on Facebook and reach out to me there. And if I can make an episode out of it, I would be honored, absolutely honored. And now that I've done talking, this is ready. Look, this is so kid-friendly, absolutely kid-friendly. You saw how easy it was, and look how much it makes. So it can easily feed 5, maybe 6 people. I'm gonna turn our oven down, our heat down, and we're done. Look how fast a family dinner can come together. So all that's left is to serve some up. And Christine, I hope I did you proud. This is just pretty amazing. I hope I did your grandmother proud. Many, many props and much gratitude. So, you say I never taste? I have already tasted this. I've made it already twice. It's perfect. It's beefaroni. Now, of course, you can add whatever you want to it, but this is the original recipe, and this recipe is perfect. So, Christine, thank you again for sharing your family food history, and thanks to your family too. This was fun. This was really wonderful. If you would like to explore more dishes from your childhood or just your past, I invite you to subscribe. I release new videos every Friday and every Tuesday. In the meantime, here's some more retro dishes for you. And remember, every dish, even poor man's meal from the Depression, oh, it's so good, you gotta try it, has a story. I'll see you in the next video.